So, hello and welcome to another exclusive interview as part of the Excellence series where we discuss with real people their best practices and unconventional wisdom in leveraging defining moments. My name is Scott Kokenauer. I'm your host, and I'm so glad that you've taken time out to tune in. My guest today is Travis Mong. Travis grew up in Salem, Ohio. Travis has been through some disruptions with his health. He's going to tell us about that and what that has meant for him. So, we all go through disruptions, we all are faced with change. And so, Travis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us, Scott.
Yeah, no problem. Tell us a little bit about the disruptions that you have faced, why they were disruptions, and a little bit about the health.
Yeah, so it was one of those situations where just when I had some pain going on, and I ended up going to the local hospital, and they ended up finding that it was an appendix situation.
Hmm.
They took the appendix out, but then I ended up finding out from the doctor says you have some fat wrapping going around, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And sure enough, I found out he's like, I think it's Crohn's. After a little bit more on, they ended up having to do surgery. They sent me over to the clinic, Cleveland Clinic, and they ended up doing a bowel resection, which was extremely painful. But I ended up getting an infection while I was in the hospital, and so that was pretty rough there for a little while.
Imagine.
Yeah, so that was a little bit about it.
Uh, so you go in for one thing and discover another thing.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that threw you into a season, right?
Correct.
Where where you had to kind of adjust, right, to things.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
did it how did it impact your work?
Oh boy. Um, it was I always call it a speed bump. We all go through. Scripture says we all go through trials and tribulations. But as far as it affecting my work, you got to just keep pushing forward. You got to be relentless, and sometimes stuff like this happens. I think it brings you out stronger because of it. Um, I always say, surround yourself with people that are there's fuel in your anchors.
Hmm.
So the people that are full, like my wife and like my family and stuff like that, and some of my friends and the people who work at the office and stuff. Um, they just give me a lot of fuel to push through, and I've had a lot of support and a lot of prayer from everybody, and here I am today, perfectly fine, moving forward. So
Yeah. Yeah. So what has this allowed you to do that you otherwise probably never would have been able to do? What avenues have had it opened up?
well, I think if I wasn't if this stuff didn't happen to me, like you're not able to speak to someone that may be going through the same thing. So, maybe someone out there that, maybe had situations with going through Crohn's, had Crohn's disease, or, don't understand, why, Lord, like, why did this happen to me? And I think because the stuff that we go through in life that we don't understand, we can use that as a conversation to help someone else. One of my core purposes in life is to make someone else's life. When I wake up in the morning, I always want to make someone else's life better off because I was a part of it, and
Mhm.
I think that's extremely important. So yeah, it's tough going through it, but if you can help someone else, it's amazing.
So, what would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned?
Trust God's plan. You have to. I think that if it wasn't for my appendix, then I wouldn't have found out I had Crohn's. Like if it wasn't for the mole in my head, I ended up having finding out right after that I had melanoma cancer that I had to get surgery when I was getting the biological for my Stellara shot. So, and if it wasn't for my wife saying about the mole is looking weird, stuff like that, you know, so you don't understand, like I said, all these little things come up, but like I said, God has a purpose, you know what I mean, for us. So just trust him. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Yeah. And so other than that, is there anything else that you would say there's probably someone listening right now
Mm-hmm.
who isn't at the place you are at right now? They're in the middle of a
Right.
dysfunction. They just
Sure.
got a diagnosis.
Right.
So they're dealing with it right at the front end.
Mm-hmm.
It's knocked them on their heels. What advice would you give them?
My advice is, Lord knows he cares so much about the birds in the air. How much more does he care about you? And the fact of the matter is that go through tough times, but you got to push forward. And it's a lot of it's a mindset thing. I mean, sometimes when you're going through the whatever you're going through, whether it's it's an illness, or maybe it's a death in the family, or maybe it's whatever, you lost your job, or you got the pandemic going on, and you don't know what's going to happen, through all this, from finances or whatever. The biggest thing is it starts in your mind. You got to be positive, and you want to surround yourself with people that are also positive, and that's going to you know put positive things in your head and encourage you. So I think that's a big thing. And like I said, just keep on, just trust the process, trust the Lord. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
come through it.
Yeah. And, listening to you talk, there are several things that jumped out at me. In addition to that, you've been giving advice all the way through. I mean, actually, if you're listening to this, listen to the entire thing. Listen to what Travis has been saying. A strong support network,
Yeah.
right? So, and looking for the opportunities in every threat. So, you went in for appendix, came out with a diagnosis early enough
Mm-hmm.
before it became a real big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so and then the mindset. It's an enormous thing that we carry around between our ears that can influence us so greatly by how we see things. And really, we're 100% responsible for how we see things, right? We can't be responsible for everything that happens. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, trusting God. Um, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him.
Mm-hmm.
Every way, every way that you go, acknowledge Him. Travis, this has been really inspiring.
Oh, good. Well,
Very.
I hope that I was able to give some advice, because I've been there. I know what that's like, and you just got to keep on pushing through, no matter what it takes. Stay positive, keep that energy going, and you'll get through it. You'll get through it. You'll come out better off. You'll come out better off than you were before, because it's like, what, Lord, I don't know why, but I trust you. But I also know that this is just a speed bump. Something
Yeah,
better.
yeah. I would imagine that you have gone through some extreme emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not discounting the emotional impact of getting news that you just lost your job
Right.
or you just got diagnosed with something. Um, those emotions are there. They're real. You go through them. You allow yourself to experience them. And out of that, you become more trusting of God instead of fighting it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You rely on him to get you through it, and you um, know that he just loves you that much, that he'll get you through it better. And he's just that kind of God, that Jesus just loves you that much. And I'm blessed to have people like my wife and my family and people that I've surrounded myself with that's been able to push me through it. And I think that's the big thing right there. Like I said,
Yeah.
starts your mind. Keep yourself going.
So, and that's one last point I wanted to make. You sparked an idea or a thought. Those of you listening to this or watching this, if you are currently not facing a disruption, listen to what Travis just said. The people he had surrounded himself with. It's good to put good people around you. Get to know good people before you need that support network. And the other thought is be a support to someone else. There are people all around us all day who are fighting disruptions, who need that voice of hope, like you've heard from Travis today. So, Travis, thank you so much for taking this time. I
Oh,
appreciate
of
it.
course. Yeah. Thank you for letting me share, Scott. Appreciate you.
This has been another exclusive interview as part of the Excellence series, where we discuss with real people their best practice, unconventional wisdom, and leveraging their defining moments. My name is Scott Kokenauer. I'm so glad you took time out to tune in. I'll see you on the next exclusive conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. I'll let you go. That's pretty much all there is. All there is to it.
Pretty easy. That was nice. Well, it's good. And the thing is, like I said, if this gets out and it changes someone's life, and I when I was in, I didn't bring this up in the talk, but I actually told the Lord, I said, if I can bring one person through to Jesus through this, it was worth it. And then, while I was in the hospital, we prayed with like 5 people, and they gave their life to the Lord. So I was walking out, and I don't know if I told you this, but I was walking out, and there was this lady like in this chair, in a wheelchair, and she was just. I was walking out of Cleveland Clinic. She was just having a hard time, and it was so crazy because I reached in my backpack and there was my Bible, and I pulled out the Bible um, and I just said the prayer with her, and she gave her life to the Lord right then and there, and then she just started crying, and then all of a sudden like she pulled away her I don't know who it was. I don't know who picked her up, but someone picked her up and then she pulled away and she just tears running down her face. And I was like, man, Lord, that was so amazing. It was nothing I did. It was just something, the Lord just put that person in my path, but it was cool.
Yeah. Well, you are, like I said, you are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you, buddy. So are you.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you later then.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah. All right.